Hello, you are welcome. In this video, we are going to solve this problem. We have m power 2 equals 2 to the power of 64 and we have m power m equals 2 to the power of k. We are going to solve for the value of m and k. Also, remember that the value of m should never be less than 0 because if we have a value of m that is less than 0, that means we are going to have a negative value here, while this is a positive value, and that is not right. Also, the value of m should be greater than 0 because if the value of m is equals to 0, that means we are going to have 0 power 0 right here, and that is not right as well. So those are the two conditions that we need to take into consideration. Now let's get started. If you have m power 2 equals 2 to the power of 64, in order to solve for m here, we can take the square root of the both parts of this equation. So the square root here will eliminate the squares here. We have m equals plus or minus. Now this is the square root of 2 to the power of 64. We can rewrite it as 2 to the power of 64 or to the power of 1 over 2. Now at this point, we make use of this identity. We multiply these two exponents. If you recall, a power n or power m equals a power n times m. Now when you multiply this, we are going to have m equals plus or minus 2 to the power of 64 times 1 over 2. We have 32. So right now we have two values for m. We have m equals positive 2 to the power of 32, and we have or m equals negative 2 to the power of 32. Meanwhile, from the conditions that we stated earlier, we are not going to make use of this. So the only value of m that we are going to consider is this positive value, that is 2 to the power of 32. Now at this point, the next thing we are going to do is to solve for k, and we are going to make use of this particular equation. Now let's go ahead and do that. We have m power m equals 2 to the power of k. And meanwhile, the value of our m is 2 to the power of 32, so we have 2 power 32 to the power of 2 power 32, and this equals 2 to the power of k. So what we are going to do is remember this identity. So we simply multiply this out. We are going to have 2 to the power of 32 times 2 to the power of 32, and this equals 2 to the power of k. Now we can as well express 32 in its exponential form, that is 2 to the power of 5. So that means we are going to have 2 to the power of 2 to the power of 5 times 2 to the power of 32, and this equals 2 to the power of k. Now going by this identity, if you have a power n times a power m, this equals a power n plus m. That means we can as well add these two exponents. We have 2 to the power of 5 plus 32, and this equals 2 to the power of k. So if you add 5 to 32, we are going to have 37, and this equals 2 to the power of k. Now right now the bases are the same, so we cancel out the bases. Now we now have 2 to the power of 37 equals k. So therefore we have k equals 2 to the power of 37, while m, from the one we solved before, we had m equals 2 to the power of 32. So those are the two values for m and k. Now the next thing we are going to do is to check if actually these two values are right. So we have, that means from the first equation, m power 2 should give us 2 to the power of 64, and that is right because m is 2 to the power of 32. If we have 2 to the power of 32 raised to the power of 2, this absolutely should give us 2 to the power of 64, and that is right because going by the identity a power n or power m, this equals a power n times m. If you multiply 32 by 2, you have 2 to the power of 64, and this equals 2 to the power of 64. Now that is right. Secondly, you can also use the second equation to check if you have m power m. This should give us 2 to the power of k. That means m power m, if we have 2 power 32 all to the power of 2 power 32, this should give us 2 to the power of k. Remember, let's check the value of k. K is 2 to the power of 37. 2 to the power, we have 2 to the power of 37. So, going by the identity, remember 32 is simply 2 to the power of 5. We have 2 to the power of 2 to the power of 5. Then we have all to the power of 2 to the power of 32. This equals 2 to the power of 2 to the power of 37. So right now, if you multiply this out, we are going to have 2 to the power of 2 to the power of 5 times 2 to the power of 32. This equals 2 to the power of 2 to the power of what? 37. Now, since the bases are the same, you add the exponents. So you are going to have 2 to the power of 2 to the power of 37, 5 plus 32. And this equals 2 to the power of 2 to the power of 37. So that is it. That means these two values are proven to be correct. So that is it for the video. Thank you and goodbye.